We're back, people, and today we're breaking down film on Brandon Pili, Miami Dolphins defensive tackle, number 96. Going into his second year UDFA, I feel like he showed a lot of improvement going into his second preseason compared to the last one. I think the biggest thing for him is, like, when you watch his college film or that first year preseason film, it was just like a consistency issue with like high, flash upside plays. And I feel like he just played way more consistent in this first preseason game, and then also contained, still showed off like those high upside big time plays, and he has a lot of value because I think there's not a lot of nose tackle / one techs because he's like a bigger body interior guy that can move like him. He has like some big pass rush upside that a lot of those players don't have, and I think he just played with more consistency versus the run than he usually did, and I think he might have been one of the biggest winners from that week 1 performance because when they cut released Tier Tart, I think he was one of the ones that probably gained the most from that. I think it gave him the best chance to make the roster to be like that second nose tackle / one tech. So I think now his chances have skyrocketed. I was expecting him to stick around either way on the practice squad, but after that performance, if he gets waived, he might not even get, he might get claimed by another team. But so Pili really did a much better job going into his second preseason. Got to give him props. Love the hustle and effort he plays with. I do think like consistency is still important for him to improve at, but he definitely showed like overall improvements. It's nice to see, and he's out there moving well, plays with a lot of low leverage. You can see the power in his hands. Just did a much better job versus the running game. I think he did a great job here on this, backside the outside zone play as a one tech. This backside guard right here, number 68, is trying to cut block him, and he just does a great job using his hands. I think that's something he kind of struggled with coming out of college, was using his hands with consistency. He kind of just like relied on his like athleticism and size. So using his hands to keep himself clean, and then showing off the balance to still stay on his feet, and then the lateral quickness and like the nimbleness to like basically hop over him and get down and make a tackle on 28. Like, and he just plays with such a high motor too. Like, you'll see some of those clips, but this guy is just flying around the field. I think it's also a good sign that he saw some of the earliest playing time out of the D tackle group, because this D tackle group is an absolute battle. But I do think he's probably the main beneficiary from Tier Tart getting released to get like a chance on the roster. Because he was out there just making plays. Good job here, like on the backside of an outside zone run. Again, this one a little bit different. This guy tries to square him up, trying to reach block him. The guy has, you don't want to let him get his hat across, so they're kind of just squared up right here. He does a really good job with his leverage in this game, like playing with a low pad level and then extending those hands, extending the hips, and being really low like this. A lot of guys will lose balance. And for him to still like stay on his feet and then also get hit like in the the working a combo from the backside right tackle, him just using that momentum to just keep carrying on the line, still maintaining control of the guard, like keeping him off him, and then getting down the field laterally to help make this play is just super impressive job of straining, using that technique. You can just see, look at him, he's basically just forklifting this guard like once he's in this spot and he's just fully extended. This guy stood up, like look how much better the pad level is, and now he's just basically carrying him down the line, just making great lateral quickness play. The first play we saw was him doing this, but getting down the line, but avoiding the cut block and showing off some really nice athleticism. This one is great athleticism, but also showing off some power, play strength, core strength, balance, all of that type of stuff while still getting involved, getting down the line of scrimmage like that. So impressive play from Pili. Here you get to see that first step burst, this quickness. Now it is a screen play. I do think 74 is trying to get more of a block on him. 74 for Atlanta is not a good player. This guy was getting absolutely abused all night by a bunch of the different D tackles. So I do want to see them next week. I want to see all the defensive linemen versus different competition next week, see if they can maintain that consistency, because they all looked really good in this week 1 game. But you can see when he gets enough space, he's a mover, man. A guy of his size should not be able to move as well as he does. That was a big reason last year he was one of those UDFAs that got the biggest signing bonus from the Dolphins. It's because he has a different skill set than most one techs, and he just gets up the field here very quickly. 74 is trying to block him because they're screening to the left here, so he's trying to at least get something on him, but he's so quick up the field, he disrupts this play. Heineke has to just chuck the ball down the dirt. Good play by Cam Brown too, and then also Pili is ready to still chase. Like, this guy's flying around the field. Love his motor. Sometimes can play a little bit out of control, but here he is. This was the big Grayson Murphy play, like the first play of the game. Murphy does an excellent job up front, just winning quickly. But if you watch Pili, look at him take on the center and just blow this up into the backfield. I do think he still can do a better job with his gap responsibility, his like what side he should be shaded to. I think sometimes he gets a little too squared up with these like the center. When the center is working play side to him, he should still keep his hat in this gap. I feel like he gets just a little too straight up with these players, and he's trying to get so he can get to the backside. But he's got to give like a little more shade to this side, and then still be able to get to the backside. But still, he blows this play up. Look at him just reset the line of scrimmage, power. Grayson won so much to the inside, he basically threw him into the center, blew up that play, put the center on the ground too, basically pancake, gets involved. Like, say Murphy doesn't knife to the inside like this, say Murphy just does it like what normal, usually a normal edge play is just setting the edge there. Pili's probably the one that blows this up because of how quickly he's able to, get down the line like that. Just super impressive, and just great athleticism too. You can see when he has to like hop over, he's getting tripped up. Because sometimes he does play a little bit out of control, like with his body, but he still shows off some pretty impressive athleticism to still get back on top. Another example of him just working through some double teams. The center is cutting him off. Like, you don't want this. The center does have the natural leverage. Like, the center should get to this spot, but Pili, you do want him to do a better job of trying to get across here, but still facing, the double team. He's very low. Gets pushed down like he might lose his balance, and now this center's trying to get across, but he does a great job of not allowing the right tackle to cut him off, so he just keeps working through that power cross, show that lateral agility, and then get down the line of scrimmage. Just doing an excellent job. I think that what you want to see out of like that one tech type of player on the backside of runs, I think he did a very, very solid job overall. I'm excited to see, because they ran a lot of outside zone. I'm excited to see if like teams, maybe we face some other preseason teams, they start running some more inside stuff, gap scheme stuff, and I want to see how he handles that, because it seems like most of his reps did come in that type of scenario. Here just to see a little bit of power as a pass rusher. I think he has pass rusher upside, and I want to see more of that, because I feel like he has that athleticism, working on twist stunts, and I also think he has some power to leg drive, push centers back too. Like, he pushes this guy back multiple yards, gets in at least in the face of the quarterback there, maybe throws off the timing, because that doesn't get completed, but good job creating disruption in the pocket. Not like the best rep ever, but he is, showing off some play strength there. Here's a good job of him just showing hustle. Here he is. They're trying to do the screen stuff. He loses balance because he's trying to push 68 back in the pocket, but 68 is trying to slip out. So he loses balance. But look at him in this position to regain that balance. And he always does this with his arms. Like, his arms are usually what are out of control when he's kind of falling. But still, look at this hustle to get down the field. Like, this is a big boy. Not should be moving like that. Doesn't, get the tackle or anything, but like, this is great hustle and motor. Like, I really respect that part of the game, and I love seeing that. Pili was very disruptive, resetting the line of scrimmage. Doesn't, get credit for anything, but like, look at him just blow up this center and like push him yards into the backfield. He basically forces this guy to cut back. So if things are, done a little bit better on the backside of this play, like, he was one who kind of blew this up with Jonathan Harris. I would have liked to see Pili at this point anticipate a little better, but I think he kind of loses his balance getting caught up on the right guard. So I think he can do a better job once he does create that push into the backfield, doing a better job like anticipating where the running back's going to cut and then stacking and shedding that and being able to get off of it. I do think he can do a better job at that point, but it is nice to see him still bullying these offensive linemen. Here we get to see him work on twists and stunts. Love the extension. Oops, my bad. Love the extension that he plays with. I think, maybe he could do a better job with the timing of this stuff. I think he works a little too much into this pile. He's got to be able to loop around a little bit quicker. But even once he loops around, look at him, like, he stays so low. I feel like his bend in that lower half is really good. Like, the fluidity, the extension of his hips and his hands, and he uses that long arm. Just the power in that to still throw that guy into the back of, the pile right there. They do a good job getting pressure from the edges too. So, like, Gallimore and Jonathan Harris create some push. But Pili was there to at least not allow a space, like, because if Pili doesn't create that push up front, then he has a better chance of stepping up into the pocket. But they did a good job constricting that space right there. So Pili looked really solid. I really liked what I saw from the entire defensive line room, pretty much. That battle will be, it's probably one of the biggest battles for roster spots at this point, like, with how many bodies there are. Like, some of the other roster battles are kind of between like 1, 2, 3 players. It feels like for the D-line room, it's like 5 guys that can win like 2 spots. So we'll see how that ends up shaking out. I think Pili is probably one of the 5 that's near the top that has a chance due to his position. But also I could see if he does get cut and doesn't get claimed, like he would 100% go to the practice squad. So if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a comment and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time. Brandon Pili, peace.